605-9663.
There you have it, folks. The best deals in town for all of your needs. Capital Lumber, located on Parkgate Road. Thank you for joining us on Deals Crazy TV. I'm your host, Keishan. And if you would like to be a part of this amazing show, please phone us at 423-9993 or 463-7491. And you can email us at fourwaysmedia@gmail.com.
Bahamas, I got good news. God did it. So now we on twice every Sunday at our regular time at 10 a.m. So you duck in church, you can watch at 10 a.m. And when you come back from church, we on at 6:30 right before the news. So we on twice every Sunday, 10 a.m. in the morning and 6:30 in the afternoon. And why is this important? This is important for the simple fact that the most important thing you can tithe is your time. Remember, God don't want to spend your money. God wants to spend time with you. Now, I can tell you the truth, Bahamas. The preacher may want to spend your money. You know, you get the regular offering, the anniversary offering, the special offering, the day is my birthday offering. You get a lot of offerings. But remember what God said. God said, if I was hungry, you wouldn't even know. Because the world is mine. The beasts in the field are mine. So spend time with God. Offer yourself first to God. And then come and offer any other gift. So 10 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. every Sunday. Thanks for watching.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, an update on the new Mental Health Act. BPL workers seeking answers. A towering figure remembered in sports. Knights win 8th straight championship. The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Good evening, I'm Desmond Saunders. Welcome to the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. Well, it's been more than a year now since the Mental Health Act was passed, but what will it take to bring it into force? Health officials providing an update on the Mental Health Act for full implementation. Jimmy Linda Swain tells us more.
Resources in the health field remain a challenge locally, but officials are looking to meet the need, especially as it works to bring the Mental Health Act into force. Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says a cadre of nurses are being specially trained for just that.
I can tell the Bahamian people, since passing the Mental Health Act, we are now in the final stages of training some 43 mental health nurses, which will be a part of the first phase of bringing the act into force. The act is a very complicated act because it not only addresses the issue of mental health and improving mental health services, it speaks about the rights of individuals who are suffering from mental health.
The Mental Health Bill replaced and repealed the Mental Health Act of 1969. The legislation focuses on promoting, protecting, and enforcing the rights of persons diagnosed or exhibiting mental illness.
For us to begin to reduce the stigma associated with mental health. And the way how you do that is by allowing digital consultation via apps. And so going forward, you will see that we'll put a new platform, and this new platform would allow individuals who are suffering from mental health issues to be able to consult a physician or a mental health care professional, not necessarily face-to-face, but via the internet.
Dr. Darville says the act will be phased in.
So we're looking at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center. We want to open more mental health community centers. We want to be able to treat individuals with mental health in their community, and we're moving away from hospitalization and dealing more with community health, mental health programs.
Darville reiterates those 43 mental health nurses will soon graduate and be deployed throughout the country and do a better job dealing with chronic mental health cases nationally by picking up on anxiety and clinical depression. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jimenita Swain.
Members of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union expressing outrage over concerns that government might be entering into a public-private partnership with a local and foreign company to manage transmission, distribution, and energy generation at the National Power Plant. Union executives holding an emergency meeting at the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union Building, Farrington Road, on Friday. Union President Carl Wilson.
People are standing in solidarity and saying we are going to save the crown jewels of the Bahamas for the Bahamian people, and BPL being one of those crown jewels. We want to keep BPL, which is called Bahamas Power and Light. So we want to keep the power in the hands of Bahamians, Bahamas Power. So we wanted the power to be in the hands of the Bahamian people.
Now, while panic looms amid speculation of a major shift planned for Bahamas Power and Light Company, President of the Trade Union Congress, Obie Ferguson, says his organization stands in solidarity with union members.
The Trade Union Congress has 40 affiliates. We stand with this union, both of these unions, 101%. What Kyle is saying and what Mr. Hanna is saying, we support it in total. You can't do anything without consulting the union. You must go to the union, discuss with the union. The union discuss with its members, a decision is taken.
While thousands of employees from a number of hotel properties anxiously await the signing of their long-sought-after Hartford new industrial agreement set to take place this Monday, there's some former members of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Island Workers Union who are feeling left out. Those members, by some accounts, as many as 200 of them, were laid off from the Life at Key Club back in 2020. Anthony Jones is one of those former employees. He's calling on the union to do what he says is the right thing.
We're in search of what is due to us. From 2010 to 2013, to 2013, to 2020, to 2024, the back pay, $5,000. We want that. And then the Employers Association, you could give us 6 if you don't want to give us 5. We need it. We want our money.
Now, Mr. Jones making it clear the group's issues are not with the Life at Key Club. In fact, he says their former employees or employers were nothing but generous. However, it's a hotel union and the Bahamas Hotel Restaurant Employees Association who these past members take exception with. He spoke directly to the two unions.
We're in search of severance pay from the Hotel and Allied Workers Union, and we want the pension benefits to even increase. And from 2013 to 2020, we haven't been compensated in this last negotiation. We feel left out. We feel drained. We have bills to pay too.
Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Honorable Jomo Campbell, says a team from his ministry and the Port Department plan to meet at the office of the Prime Minister on Monday to review redevelopment plans for Port Dock, the same day that several boats were burnt to ash. Luckily, there were no injuries, but plans are in the works to address derelict vessels in the area.
It just goes to highlight the fact that we do have a pressing issue with boats. You know, people go on those derelict vessels, they sleep there. In the nighttime, they use them as sort of makeshift homes. You know, sometimes using candles or lanterns. Any number of things could have contributed to that, and that matter is still under active investigation. But in the very near future, you could definitely see some plans taking shape. I don't want to preempt the Comptroller, Mr. Byrne, right? But as per our meeting on Monday, there are definitely plans underway.
Now, Campbell says it will also be necessary to determine if the boats at Awaki are seaworthy.
We want to make sure that the owners have ample opportunity and time to redeem their assets before we step in to remove them. And then there is a back and forth after the government steps in. But the first thing is to determine whether or not any of them are seaworthy. And then if they aren't, we want to move them out of that area, because not only does it pose a risk in terms of the health and safety to the persons, but could you imagine the marine life?
A tourist attraction or a public eyesore? Vendors voicing displeasure over conditions at Port Dock. Government recently announced plans to give that area a much-needed facelift. Shelia Jones has more.
Potter's Key Dock, most famously known for its vibrant colored stalls and fresh seafood, is now home to derelict vessels which are now posing a health and safety hazard. These issues has prompted the government to take action. Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the Honorable Jomo Campbell, told the press that though the investigations into the disastrous fires plaguing the area are ongoing, plans are being made to remove the dilapidated vessels. Residents who frequent the docks had this to say about its condition.
We've been having a lot of fires recently. Also, in our tourism industry, we have guests who come to see what we have to offer, and they would ride in this area. And we want our dock area to look very professional with good-looking boats to make the harbor looks good. It's really a bad scene for the harbor. So I think we'll take it out to derelict boats. We'll have a beautiful harbor.
Not only a safety hazard, there is also the lack of space. So they're also occupying spaces that can be utilized for other vessels.
One stall owner that was affected by the fires spoke to ZNS, voicing his concern.
So what is happening is with the derelict boats, they are going to sink if no one is taking care of them, or if you have like reagents on them and stuff like that. You know, people what is not capable of taking care of boat, they're going to smoke and stuff like that. The boats are going to get burned out. So that's something they have to look into.
And others expressing their opinions.
The government, from any other government, they only talks. It ain't happen. They'll be ready to tell you rotten down, and then you have to move it.
Wipe out everything and come back.
The government has yet to make a final decision, but one thing remains clear. They say change will come to Potter's Key Dock. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Charlia Jones.
You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. There's more after this.
The smart way to pay at the pump.
Colina Insurance Limited is Bahamian and proud. We celebrate the accomplishments of women across the Bahamas, everywhere they shine. At Colina, we are passionate about fostering an inclusive workplace where diversity is valued and embraced. Our workforce is comprised of 81% women. Join us today and every day as we inspire inclusion and create a brighter, more equitable future for all. Happy International Women's Day.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
This coral farm in Grand Bahama is leading efforts to restore coral reefs as a result of global coral bleaching. What is coral bleaching, you may ask? Well, when our waters get too warm, corals expel the algae living in their tissues, causing them to turn completely white.
So we've lost half of the world's coral reefs since the 1970s, and we're on track to lose over 90% by 2050. And in the Bahamas and around the Caribbean, we've actually lost closer to 60 to 80% of the reefs. And that's from pollution, it's from destructive fishing practices, it's from bad coastal development, it's also from climate change. If their corals are dying, then there's no habitat for the fish to live. There's no fish to live. So much of the culture, the livelihoods, the economy tied to the Bahamas is going to suffer as well.
That's Coral Vida's Chief Reef Officer, Sam Teicher. What the organization does is set up coral farms on land using open source scientific methods that allow them to grow corals up to 50% faster than their natural pace. Additionally, they toughen the coral's resistance to better survive warming waters.
So what we do is we go out on the reefs, we take cuttings off of living coral reefs, just like you take cuttings off of trees and flowers. Instead of grafting them onto roots, we bring them into these tanks around us. And using these processes for 6 to 12 months, we grow the corals, help them accelerate the growth rates, and then toughen up against climate change before we then go back out onto the reefs and plant them to help bring reefs back to life. So here at the farm, we can grow 30 to 60,000 corals a year to help bring Grand Bahamas and hopefully at some point soon reefs all throughout the whole country back to life.
He also speaks to the progress made since the farm began its efforts in 2019.
Last summer, we also had a big bleaching event in the Bahamas. It was really unfortunate to see massive spikes in ocean temperatures kill a lot of corals around us. And while more corals than we would have liked that we outplanted died, in one restoration site, as 100% of the natural reef died, about 30% of our corals made it.
We also caught up with coral restoration specialist Alana Velicott, the organization's first Bahamian hire, who shares how it feels to be part of such an impactful operation.
It's like an out-of-this-world feeling. It feels like I'm a part of something way bigger than me. And although I might not be able to see the grand results of what it is I'm doing, it's still really fulfilling to see the growth that I'll get to see in my lifetime, but also the impact that we're having on Bahamians.
She also shares that more Bahamians should join in on this effort.
Bahamians are an ocean people. Not all of us may know how to swim, but these oceans protect us, they feed us. All of the ecosystem services that the ocean provides and that Healthy Reefs provide, we benefit from. Coastal protection, food, our cultural backgrounds, medicines, healing, wellness, recreation. You cannot be anywhere in the Bahamian Islands without being a stone's throw away from the ocean or something that the ocean touches or affects. And so it is imperative that we get back in touch with the ocean, that we rekindle that relationship with the ocean.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Fort Charlotte constituency held its Stop the Violence rally at the C.I. Gibson Park in Chippenham, while all reports that it's an effort to stop the scourge of crime.
Despite the rain, scores gathered early to take in activities of the Fort Charlotte constituency's Stop the Violence rally. For longtime Chippenham resident Dolores Red Archer Thompson, to arrest the decline, the answer is simple.
I'm saying we go back to basic, I think we have less violence in our community. So families, I appeal to families of the children who are creating gangs because they have no love by their neighbors.
Chippenham, a middle-class neighborhood 50 years ago, is not the same today, and Fort Charlotte encompasses more communities there. Murders, robberies, and other crimes are not unusual, as incomes have certainly fallen, and outside toilets are not uncommon. To reverse the decline, Quentin Barabbas Woodside believes love is needed.
Share with them, share knowledge, share love, and share your $2, because a lot of them out there are hungry. If you go through our communities and see where they live and where they come from, you will help as much as you can. So, you know, like the outside toilet where our great-grandmother used to have, how you want to clean that up? Let's clean up our community. Let's clean up our children's hearts.
Farrington Road resident Henry Dean, a longtime donor, sees the decline too.
In our community, there's certainly the lack of employment opportunities for young people. The challenge I see with that is that many of our young people are not academically equipped.
And academics matter so much so that Urban Renewal has taken on an education officer to deal with absenteeism. Inspector Humphrey Bain.
We also have the services of an attendance monitor from the Department of Education at our center, assigned to our center. So that person who's been assigned is instrumental in helping us to identify those kids, those families, where there may be some delinquency.
Minister Sayers issued this warning to young people.
The act you do today will have consequences on the kind of life you will have tomorrow. And that is why we have to always encourage young people to think critically, to think in terms of where they want to be.
Regarding crime, Inspector Antonio Lavardi of the Royal Bahamas Police Force says cell phone use can make you become a victim of crime.
It is a distraction at this point, but while we may be on our cell phone, we need to be mindful of our surroundings, left, right, forward, and back. That could be the difference between you realizing if someone's in front of you, in the back of you, and prepared to rob you. I also spoke about another trend, going to the ATM machine at night. That is a definite no-no.
And to take back each community, it begins with initiatives like this here in Fort Charlotte. Each resident getting to know their neighbors and to show love and to help each other. For the Bahamas Tonight, I am Vaughn Albury.
Well, Henry Dean, the 2024 Sir Victor Sassoon Golden Heart awardee, has always had a heart of gold for his community of Fort Charlotte. A longtime supporter of Fort Charlotte MP, the Honorable Alfred Sayers Dean, also an employer, speaks about the declining work ethic in the Bahamas.
They don't come to work, particularly after they get paid. They don't stay to work. They're not attentive. And so it could be abusive. So we have to have a whole new reinventing, okay? I believe we've lost several generations of young people, but we now have to address those younger kids, starting at the primary and junior high school and creating in them a mindset, a positive mindset, a different mindset that will capture our potential.
A national educational campaign underway to promote safety on the streets. The Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division hitting the streets to enforce the rules of the road and increase public awareness to Bahamian motorists. Head of the Traffic Division of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Chief Superintendent of Police Eugene Strachan.
We are averaging about 17 accidents a day. For the most part, we are finding that there's a lot of inattention and coupled with, in some cases, speed. And that inattention range from persons just texting or communicating with passengers either in the rear seat of the vehicle and also the front seat passenger. We'd like to also make an appeal to those individuals, especially those individuals on the back of trucks when they're traveling, predominantly the construction workers. We are finding that we are still having challenges with individuals are not seated in the bed of the truck. They want to sit on the rim of the back of the truck, and we know what that spells for disaster if the individual who's driving has to make a sudden turn either left or the right, on the ground, head meet asphalt, and we know the end results.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Dimitri Capron says part of its outreach will be targeting local students.
We want to take a proactive approach to educating motorists, and so to do that, what we have done is we are rolling out an educational campaign where we go into the schools, where the graduating class of 2024, we want to sit down, we want to speak with them, and we want to inform them on the hows of getting their learner's permit and their driver's license and the why that they should get it. And so we want to start training at a younger age.
The Chinese Embassy presenting a large stack of bedding supplies to the Centerville Seventh-day Adventist Church. Bed sheets, pillows, pillowcases, and light quilts were donated. The Chinese ambassador hopes the gesture would assist those in need.
For our embassy, we regularly reach out to different communities and the church groups in the Bahamas to show our love and concern for the Bahamian people. And as the pastor told me, they have a lot of needy people in Centerville. So we would very much like to express our love and care and support for these people by way of this humble donation. We do hope it could be useful, and we look forward to a growing partnership.
Senior pastor of the Centerville Seventh-day Adventist Church, Michael Toot, says the donation would go a long way to assist the less fortunate.
Even though we say we are monoclimatic, one temperature basically year-round, the fact of the matter is that the recent nights have been rather chilly, and so you can imagine persons who are challenged in terms of their respite, their sleep every night, not having proper accommodations to keep them warm. These items will go a long way
to bring comfort and solace to those.
For our embassy, we regularly reach out to different communities and the church groups in the Bahamas to show our love and concern for the Bahamian people. And as the pastor told me, they have a lot of needy people in Centerville. So we would very much like to express our love and care and support for these people by way of this humble donation. We do hope it could be useful, and we look forward to a growing partnership.
March 1st marked the start of the annual Nassau Grouper season. The 3-month closed season begins each December 2nd. The Nassau Grouper, one of many species of grouper, is the most sought-after Bahamian seafood at Pawtuskee Dock. We spoke with boat captain Gerard Bannister, preparing to go fishing for groupers.
It's grouper season again.
Yes, sir. Yes,
what are you looking forward to?
Making a lot of money off a grouper. That's our goal this trip, before it gets scarce.
You plan to go out, and how long will your boat be out?
2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Just two.
How far do you have to go to get this grouper that you would like?
200 miles. 200 miles.
Where is that?
South Bahamas, off of Ragged, Kachina area.
Well, Pawtuskee Dock vendor Kevin McKenzie shared why there were so few groupers now.
If you see groupers now, that'll be a problem because that means the groupers being caught before the season opens, so you wouldn't see a group until maybe in a week time.
Oh, but hey, guess what? Right next door to you, that's a grouper being cleared.
Of course, the one that's recorded, that comes from some fish house or somewhere that then gets caught.
Yeah, because it's frozen too.
Right, because it's frozen.
So when do you expect to see grouper here?
And maybe in the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Well, scores of Bahamians gathered at St. Agnes Anglican Church today to bid farewell to a gallant warrior in the fight against breast cancer in the Bahamas. Andrea Sweeting, the founder of the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group, died February 10th, 2024, just 3 days after her birthday, February 7th. The 75-year-old being hailed as a remarkable woman who was a symbol of hope and resilience for so many Bahamians in the cancer fight. A two-time cancer survivor, Sweeting embodied the very essence of strength and compassion, making her not just a leader, but a true sister to countless of women navigating the journey of breast cancer.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
In the Yellow Elder Garden, Ali and her cousins listened to Grammy share tales. The 70s so sweet, with themed costumes and dancing feet. Then came the brass, reaching new heights. A symphony of Bahamian nights. The 2000s, the Yellow Elder, a symbol of pride. Grammy's legacy in view as Ali dances in her Yellow Elder costume. We are alive.
Hello everyone, this is Tony Williams back with a special promotion from BahamasAir.com and GoGo Florida. The $100 deposit is back, but it's only on your debit card. So whether you're renting that sedan, SUV, or spacious minivan for group or family trips, keep your cash in your pocket. Only Dollar Thrifty is making it convenient for you. Your $100 deposit held on your debit card. Available at Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Book early and save your 8-passenger minivan for your holiday shopping spree.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Saturday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Several Bahamians already seeing action at this year's World Indoor Championships taking place in Glasgow, Scotland. Anthony Strawn earlier today competing in the semis of the women's 60-meter heats. She'd finish 8th in a time of 7.36 seconds. Top two finishes there. Poland's Iwa Swoboda would run a world-leading time of 6.98. And in second, Belgium's Rani Rosas would run 7.12. Ken Mullings jumping a new personal best of 7.69 meters to finish 5th in the long jump. Up to news time, he sat in the third overall position in the men's decathlon, and Laquan Nairn also competing in the men's long jump. He would finish 15th with a leap of 7.59. Devin Charlton expected to hit the track tomorrow in the 60-meter hurdles, and Charisma Taylor over in the women's triple jump. Stay tuned into Zenith Soul Sports as we continue to keep you updated on the athletes' performances from Glasgow, Scotland. The GSSA track and field meet wrapping up yesterday over at the Old Thomas Robinson Stadium. After all the races had been run and the scores had been tallied, it would be the C.R. Walker Knights claiming their 8th consecutive GSSA title. Look at the total scores. A close one. C.R. Walker taking the top spot with 567. In second, just missing out would be C.B. Bethel with 536. In third would be R.M. Bailey with 369. In fourth place would be C.I. Gibson with 325. Rounding up the top 5 would be Government High with 302 points.
Well, I am extremely proud of all of the above, the coaches, the staff, the athletes, most of all, because they did most of the hard work. And with us telling them what to do and they follow instructions, they did what's supposed to be done. And at the end of the day, we strive and we try to do the best. Most of all, I want to give thanks to God. And because of him, we were allowed to win again, 8 straight, and very proud of everyone who did their best.
Still on track, one of the country's most decorated athletes is hanging up her sprints. Olympian and 6-time national champion Gaither making the announcement in a heartfelt post. During her career, she was a Youth Olympic Games 200-meter silver medalist, a member of the gold medal 4x1 relay team in 2010 in Singapore, a Pan American Games bronze medalist in the 200 meters in 2019, and a NACAC 200-meter silver medalist. Gaither also will be remembered as a 6-time national champion in the women's 100 meters. She leads with a lifetime achievements of 7.14 in the 50 meters, 7.23 in the 60 meters, and 11.02 in the 100 meters. And the Charles W. Saunders Senior Boys basketball team holding a motorcade yesterday to celebrate their back-to-back BAISS Senior Boys championships. Last month, the Cougars completed a 2-game series sweep of the Kingsway Saints. The team is coached by Dario Burrows. They would wrap up a perfect BAISS season with the win. Ramon Woods would be named Series MVP. And that's when we look at your sports on this Saturday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Desmond. We have mostly cloudy skies, temperature at 76 degrees, the relative humidity 75%, the winds out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,020.7 millibars, that is 30.14 inches. And your temperatures around the farming violence this evening, 76 degrees in Marshall, Babaco, Greentown Key at 75, Freeport, Grand Bahama also 75 degrees, the Berry Island 74, Alistown, Bimini 74 degrees, 74 is again in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera at 76, Fresh Creek, Central Andros 77, 79 in Kemp Space South Andros and Black Point, Exuma over in Alistown, Cat Island 77 degrees, 77 is also in San Salvador and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma 2 degrees up at 79 degrees, 79 is again in Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay may go on 80 degrees in Acklands, Matthew Tiny Nagua 78 and the Turks and Caicos Island 78 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight in the northwestern parts of our country through Sunday. Those winds will fluctuate between southeast and south at 10 to 15 knots. The wave height's around 2 to 4 feet. Now, your high tide that takes place tonight at 41 minutes past midnight. The low tide will occur at 7:12 tomorrow morning for the central and southeastern islands through Sunday. Southeasterly winds 12 to 18 knots. The wave height's 3 to 6 feet. So we're asking boaters in the central and southeastern islands to exercise caution. And our satellite picture showing lots of cloudiness over the northwest and central parts of our country that's being advected from the Gulf of Mexico by some upper-level westerlies, and we have a stall-out frontal system to the north of us, and that will provide a couple of showers tomorrow, particularly in the late afternoon hours. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm, 70 degrees for the low, and tomorrow, there are going to be periods of clouds and sunshine tomorrow. Some showers developing, as I said earlier. That will take place in the late afternoon hours with a high temperature of 79 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, off and on showers right into Monday, but things get a little better as we head into Tuesday. Temperatures get it up into the low 80s into Tuesday, and then we'll see them drop once we get past that as the mid to upper level trough will move over the northwest Bahamas on Sunday, and that is what will provide those showers. Nighttime temperatures, they're going to be in the low 70s right through the next 7-day cycle. Desmond?
Thank you, Basil. And that does it for the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thank you so much for watching in. Good night.